Hi guys, it's your girl qochemist, and I am popping on camera to make a video that I told someone I would make a long time ago, but I just haven't done this particular technique on my hair in a while, and so I wasn't able to make the video. But now that I'm doing it, I'm going to make this video. It's probably not going to be the best instructional video, but more of a demo and a talk through, if you will. So probably about a year ago, I posted, I think, a picture on Instagram showing that I had tightened up the new growth of my locks using a crochet hook, and someone asked me if I would make a video. Now, I will say I did direct them to other videos on YouTube because there are videos where people have used crochet hooks on their locks. And in most instances, it's a lot of people with either Caucasian hair or straighter hair that have used that technique. But there have also been African Americans who have also done it. I think my girl Barbadian261 just started her new set of locks and she used the crochet hook. So I will try to make sure I link her videos because she probably has one of the better, more recent, more modern videos that you could see. But without further ado, let me show you what's going on here. So this hair that's down, I've already done, and I'll show you what it's looking like. So this hair has been interlocked with a crochet hook, if you will. You can see my scalp. Now, I don't normally do this because I'm not doing it necessarily for the neat aesthetic. I am no longer obsessed with neat locks. I just need to do this for something else that I want to do to my hair. So that's part of the reason. And sometimes my new growth gets a little out of hand and just regular retwisting does not tame it enough, and I have all these extra pieces of hair and flyaways like that, and so sometimes I just like to do this for that purpose. So this is the hair that has not been retwisted. As you can see, you cannot see my scalp, or unless I pull really hard. These are the ones that have not been done, and I have probably about an 1.5 to 2 inches of new growth on most of these, and a bunch of flyaways and fuzzies. So what I like to do is take a small crochet hook. This one is 0.5 millimeters. It's so tiny on the end you can barely see that there's a bend, but there is a bend there. I have also used a small hook from a set of crochet needles that I purchased, the metal ones. This was the tiniest one. I don't like this one as much. I don't find that it really gets in the way I like it to, but I think Miani Barbadian261, I think she uses one more along this size, but I will link her video so she can give you that information. So I'm going to pull one lock out that I'm going to work with right here. And now I will preface this by saying if your hair is thinning or damaged or weak or whatever, I would not recommend this technique for you, because you are going in and you are sort of pulling at the hair and trying to weave it into the shaft of the lock and into kind of a temporary locked shape. And I don't think that extra manipulation with this tiny metal tip is a good idea if your hair is weak or damaged. So I'm going to say that now because I don't want somebody coming back and saying, I did your video and I snapped my hair off. That's on you. I would also say for the first time, I would recommend that you do one lock and see how you like the aesthetic of it, because it's not going to look like a retwisted, lock at the root. It's going to let's see if I can show you. You can't really tell. It's just gonna look like your hair is just locked all the way down to the little bit of new growth that you leave. So if you've ever interlocked your hair, or you've seen interlocks and you don't like interlocks, this might not be for you. The thing I do like about this versus the traditional interlocking where you loop the hair under and through is I find that as it matures, you just don't get the little like bumps that you sometimes see, or the obvious matured interlocked lock look, if that makes sense. some people it'll make sense too, because some people will tell me I don't like the way interlocked hair looks over time. But part of that too, I find, is that people just don't do their interlocks properly, but that's a whole nother topic. Because I used to interlock my locks and you couldn't tell the difference between where I retwisted and where I interlocked. I mean, all these locks have been interlocked and twisted and everything in between probably, and my locks look very consistent. So if you have a lot of bumps and you're interlocking it, you may not be doing something right, because I don't think it should look bumpy. Okay, but anyway, so what you want to do, I always make sure I dampen the hair, because you are manipulating your hair, and again, you don't want it to be in a compromised situation. And then I make sure I pull all the loose hairs, every hair that's supposed to go into that lock, I make sure I smooth it along with the lock. And then I start at the end where you can see the initial fuzzy hairs from the loose hair. And I take my crochet hook. So it's hard to explain what you're doing, but when you're doing this, you will feel the hairs being pulled in. You're essentially, okay, let me put this down. You're essentially like grazing around the edge, the outer edge, to grab up those loose hairs, and then you're sticking them in. And that's kind of your technique. You're going around and in, then I go under, around the opposite way and in, and then you move up the shaft of the lock. I like to go from the end toward the root and not the other way around. I just don't get that. But, you know, to each his own. So yeah, so that's what I'm about to do now. I have my crochet hook. I'm just lightly going around the edges. And every time I'm going around, your hook, the tip part, let's see, this part needs to be upward, or either if you're going overhand, it needs to be down. So you're doing this motion and that motion and this motion. So that's what you're going to see me doing here. And be gentle, like I said, when you're around the more mature parts of your lock and you're trying to incorporate those hairs into the mature part of your lock, it is going to be more challenging, of course, because your mature part of your lock is already formed. But and just like I said, be gentle, don't yank, because you can rip and tear and break hairs, and you don't want to do that. So as you're doing it, you see, I went kind of fast, but it's already forming. See, do you see that? Like, I'll get up close. So whereas I had a lot of new growth, now I have a little less, and that fuzzy is a little bit there, but it's not as fuzzy, and all those loose hairs are in there. And I'll go back up and over it, and then start going back down. And it also helps if you kind of roll the lock as you go with your other. Like, see how I'm doing this? Because that helps with getting the crochet hook in and out without, again, ripping your hair. And you just keep working down. I don't get all the way down to the very, root bed. I go pretty low because, again, I need to tame up most of my new growth for, like I said, something I'm planning to try. But you don't want it to be too tight, as with anything, as with retwisting, as with traditional interlocks. You don't want it to be so tight that, you're not sleeping at night. So be mindful of that. Now, for those of you who actually crochet out there, like, this is going to be like nothing for you, because it's that same kind of technique of crocheting yarn, but you're just crocheting your hair. So now I've gotten all the way down. You see I got less new growth that feels loose, and you just keep repeating. You just keep repeating. And these, for the most part, will stay if you do them properly. And that's why I say I would practice maybe on one or just a few locks, and then do your normal retwist or whatever you currently do, and just see how they hold up, if you like how they look, before you start just going all willy-nilly and doing your whole head. These will stay a little bit better, like with washing, they don't unravel the same if done properly. Again, I keep saying if done properly, because if you don't do them properly, they could unravel. So yeah, that's a lock done. I still need to go back over it a little bit. I see some fuzzies. You can't see them that well, but I can. So I'll keep working on that, and I'm going to finish the rest of my head. But I just wanted to make this quick video. I hope it's helpful. Please feel free to ask questions. I will, again, like I said, I will find Miani Barbadian 261's videos and any other videos I think might be helpful and link them below. Again, this is not something you have to do to your hair. It is not something that I consistently do because for those of you who followed me over the years, I am not consistent. Sometimes I retwist, sometimes I used to interlock consistently, like 8 months in. I'm 10 years in now. Yeah. And then sometimes, most of the time, I just wash and go, separate and go, which is my preferred method, especially really in the summer and really the winter and really just in life. But like I said, for a purpose, I need my hair to be tightened. I am doing these. And I'll give you one more look at how it should look when you're done. And oh, I will say too, when you first do them, your hair is going to feel stiff. The part that you've interlocked is going to feel stiffer than probably what you're used to if you just retwist your hair. But it's not a bad thing. It just means you've already condensed that hair more than if you twist it, you're just looping it around itself. But when you're interlocking it with the crochet hook, you're condensing the hair, so it's gonna feel locked. You know, like I said, my hair now looks like it's locked all the way down to the root, but in actuality, like probably 2 inches of this was new growth, you know, a minute ago. So yeah, hope you found this helpful. Sorry the video's a little long. You know I'm chatty. I haven't seen you guys in a while, or not seen, but talked to you guys in a while. So yeah, please like this video, share this video, comment below, subscribe if you happen to find this video and you're like, oh, who's this? I do have tons of other videos, lots of lock styling videos and other things here on my channel. So thank you so much, and I will see you later.